One of the most promising models that can also be applied, and actually I think is being applied to circular economy, is the advent of national green investment banks. When we talk about a linear economy, which we have built a linear economy, and we are trying to close the loop and make it circular, that is not a uniform task across markets, because as Audrey said, there are different circumstances, different practices, business models, even cultural factors, which mean that the ways that you need to try to close that loop vary by geography. And as you guys have noted, the challenges in emerging markets there are additional challenges in terms of policy regimes that are not in place, perhaps, or basic infrastructure and availability of capital at low cost to fund new solutions. I think if I look at the decarbonization space, one of the most promising models that can also be applied, and actually I think is being applied to circular economy, is the advent of national green investment banks. So these are usually, but not always, publicly owned, commercially operated institutions that are capitalized by a country or sometimes even a city or a region. And they have the ability to blend concessional finance from international institutions with non-concessional finance. And so their ultimate goal is to build national capacity to mobilize local private savings as countries develop, right? And instead of relying forever on a model of official development assistance or development finance, right? They're creating the sort of homegrown financial institutions at the intersection of public and private. And circular economy is a perfect example of the kind of sectoral focus that they can have, because it involves perhaps a greater degree of attention to structuring solutions and dealing with policymakers than commercial banks typically have the appetite to do. And these green investment banks also have an important role in training local commercial banks in how to do certain transactions that they might not be familiar with through a combination of technical assistance and loan guarantees. So I think if I was to look across the spectrum in emerging markets and try to identify a replicable model in the financial sector for financing circular economy, I would point at green investment banks.
That's the case. As you know, Africa is said to have the biggest population growth as we get to 2050, when we are expected to be reaching net zero. It is a continent that is going to be the global market because of its youthful population. And as such, the circular economy, because of its base rich, enables interventions, whether it's in the digital space for the youth with new innovations, or through waste that is generated. It is estimated that Africa's e-waste alone has a value of 3.4 billion. And so those are new areas that tap in. So with mineral waste from estimated at 3.4 billion, that means it offsets new minerals coming on stream. And so those are the new areas that we are tapping in to ensure that we don't mine new minerals when there is already minerals in the West in terms of e-waste that is on the continent.
And I guess like a big theme within the financing space in general, I guess, in continents like Africa, is this kind of infrastructure investment that's needed to enable some of these systems to work. Do you also see innovation happening more upstream in terms of empowering some of these entrepreneurs, some of the youth you're talking about, to design things differently from the outset?
Yeah, that is the way the alliance is set up is to try and do technology transfer. Technology transfer is one of those areas that are even listed in the Paris Agreement to enable net zero or even climate resilience. And so skills and technology transfer is one of those means of reaching that goal. And so what we do in the Alliance and even in the facility is to create innovation hubs where partners in the hub, for instance, Finland, that has been a front runner on circular economy, is coming up with country roadmaps to design roadmaps and to design incubation facilities for rolling out circular practices. So we have a holistic view on how to mainstream circular economy in Africa's national development plans, even as climate targets.